Today, welcome back to another episode of data analysis. We'll continue from where we stopped the last time, and we were doing something about data cleaning on Power BI. Then we did wireframe also. So I believe by now we should have watched the recording, and we should be familiar with the we should be familiar with Power BI. We should be able to do data cleaning on Power Query. Then now we want to progress to the next process. So before I move on, let me load data my Power BI. So let's load my Power BI. Okay, let's give it a minute. It's loading. Okay. This is the landing page. When you open your Power BI, this should be the landing page. The first thing you want to click on is what? Click on a blank report. Then it will show you the landing page. Sorry, the first. Yeah, this is actually the landing page. But that one is supposed to be the first thing. You click the blank report. Then you see the landing page. That is your workspace actually. So it's still loading. Let's give it some minutes. So we can see this is what we did the last time, right? And we can see we have this our landing page. Okay, so now let's move on. Let me try to do something. To save it. Okay. Okay, the next thing is remember we want to do get data, right? That will be the first thing. And I already know my data set is what text or CSV. So now let's get our data set again. So my data set is four data sets. So let me just use four. So today we'll be moving on to the next process of data analysis using our Power BI. Remember, we've done the first one, which is getting the data set, right? Then the next one is data cleaning, which we did extensively last class. So the next one is what analysis with data analysis with Power BI. So this is what we want to concentrate on today. Remember last time we also did wireframe. So we'll be doing analysis. Then after analysis, after we are done with today's work, the next thing will be visualization. Remember that's like the process of data analysis. You start from data, getting the data, then data cleaning. I think we've done enough justice to that one. Then the next one is analysis of data. So that's what we want to look at today. Our next class will be data visualization, and after data visualization, we leave it there, right? I'm sorry, we will end our Power BI course there. So we move on to the next tool. So we can actually see that we are getting towards the end of this training session. So I want to urge us to watch the video and try as much as possible to be in class. It will soon be over. It's just like 1 2 week left for us. So we want to put all our attention there and make the most of this training section. So now the next thing I want to click on is transform data. I was supposed to click on load data because yeah, let me just load it. So it's loading. Yeah, if you were here last class, the data has been cleaned, but unfortunately it was not saved. So this is like the uncleaned data. But if you follow the last data set, sorry, the last class, you will see how it is being cleaned. Then you follow to how the analysis part now. Now it's loading. So let's start. Let's start. So the next thing is if you want to do data visualization in sorry, data analysis in Power BI. So instead of us, let me just explain some things to us maybe. Let me break it down. So we have our data set here. This is what I've loaded. You can just click on this drop down, then you can actually see all the table there. Right. Let's go down. We can see all the table there. So let's enlarge this one a little bit. Right, so to see it, you can enlarge it like that. So I'm scrolling down, I can see everything here. So we have different type of visualization tool here. Maybe I should just to rush through it so you can see how this visualization are being used. Sorry, yeah, this visualization option, how they are being used, all these charts, how they are being used. So the first one is what, a stack bar chart. So whenever we have a bar chart, we have a column chart, we usually use something we call category column. So I'll explain better. But let me start with this matrix table. So we have two type of table, and from the word table, table is just let me click on it so we can see it. So this is the first table here. So we can see we have the rows and we have the columns, then we have the rows. So the same thing. If I should click out, then you click on matrix now. So matrix is also the same thing with sorry, yeah. So matrix is also the same thing, is almost the same thing with as table, but the only difference is that this one enter his data in one by one, while this one can enter his data in one by two, one by three, one by four. It's limitless. So it is actually advisable that whenever you want to do analysis in Power BI, you should use matrix. So both of them almost serve the same function, but this one represent data in one by one, while this one represent data in one by two, one by three, one by four. So it's, yeah, let's say one by two. So now let me just remove this one. Now let's start with matrix now. So what do you want to drag inside? So we can see we have one thing we call rows column. It depends on the chart you click on. If I should click on pie chart now, you can see it has changed to what legend values details. If I should click on bar chart, it has changed to y-axis, x-axis. So all these things are very easy, depend on the chart you are trying to use. Now I'm trying to use a matrix that is as a table, and we all know table is just like a pivot table that we've been saying in Excel, right? So now let's say we have let's look at our data here so we can understand it in case you were not here when we were cleaning it. So let's give it some minutes to load. So we have the case ID, which we will not be using today. Then we have our investigation date. We have our fault type. Now let's start. Let's see how many fault type are common. Yeah, let's see how common are these fault type. What's the most common fault type? So now we want to do fault type now. Where is fault type here? So I can see fault type here. So we have rows, we have column. What's rows? This is what we call row. The one that go that the one that is, I should represent the data in um horizontal way. I think that's right. Yeah, for type, but actually I want to put it in columns. That is, this is a column. Assuming we have boys and girls, that's gender, right? So let's say male and female, right? So I want to put them in a column. I don't want to put them in a row. I want the boy to be here. Then immediately below it, or yeah, immediately below it, I want the girl to be here, or male or female. That's row column, right? That means I will be dragging this categorical data into my column. So once you drag it into your column, you will give it a minute to load here. You can actually expand this one so you will see better here. So let's expand it. So it is giving you something in columns here. Sorry, you're actually supposed to drag it to row. So let's drag it to row now. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. So because we want to give it a number, I want to know how many. Let me enlarge it so we can see it better. Okay, I've enlarged it and you can see it is still not showing better. So actually, if I click on this one to format this one, so if I click on this one, you can see something like format your visual on it, right? So if I click on format my visual, then I want to go to this value because this value looks too small for me, right? So I want to go to the value. So instead of 10, let's change it to what? Maybe 25. So is it changing? No. Okay. Um, uh, is it changing? It's not changing. Uh, let's do values. So let's search for values. Okay, let's move on. I don't know why. I guess I'm not seeing it currently. Um, let's search for it again. Let's move on. I'll try to get it. I can't seem to. I don't seem to get it now. So now let's move on. Let's go back to here. So now let's drag this for type into our values again because we want to give it a number, right? Oh, okay. This is what I increased. I'm sorry. Let's change it to. Okay. So the values is giving us first value count because I was expecting them to be um should be a count that is number, right? So you want to click on this drop down, just like the same way we are doing there. So you want to count. So if you count now, we can see we have things like this. So this is actually better. So now let's click on this one. Let me look at the values here. Uh, Okay, so sorry, I can't see it currently. So it happens like that also. So we have our ATM scheme to be 1995, that is 1995. So we have, in this place, we can say phishing is the most common fraud type. So to actually arrange this in ascending or descending order, if I should actually move my arrow here, so maybe I should just focus it here. You can go to focus mode here. So now let's just click on focus mode so you can see it better now. So let's say we have 1995, we have our 1976, we have 2036, we have 2027, we have 2016. That is, these are the four types that we have. So let's say I want to arrange it. So if I should click on this column header, can you see there is like a drop down there? So we want to click on this drop down. So once you click on this drop down, you can actually see, okay, I was actually wrong the other time that I said it was phishing. It was actually an online shopping scam, which was 20,036, right? Then followed by what's phishing, followed by SIM swap, followed by ATM skimming, followed by what bank transfer fraud. So now this is a report, right? Well, I can already see that online farming. Now I want to represent this with a chart. So I can easily represent this with a chart. Let's say this is a decision now. Let me just do Control C, Control V. So it will be like I'm replicating it. Yeah, let's do Control C, Control V. We all know that what that means, right? It's more like copy and paste, right? That's the meaning of that's the meaning of Control C, Control V. So now this is a table, this is a chart, this is actually a chart, this is a visualization. But I actually want to change this visualization, right? So let's say I want to change it to this is a categorical data. What do we mean by categorical data? Categorical data is you can see we have a text data type here, then we have a numerical data type here. This is example of categorical data. Assuming we have a numerical data type here, we have a numerical data type here. That's numerical data type, and that's when we actually use our what our scatter plots or our scatter charts. So in this case, because we have text data type here, if you change here, if you change to this one, it will give you an error. Can you see the chart is not even making sense? So let's change to represent your categorical error. It is either you use bar chart or use column chart. So you want to use something like this. Let's say I'm using my clustered bar chart. Another thing about analysis is that can you see I can't see the difference between all of them. I can see online shipping scam and bank transfer fraud. All of them look as though they are the same. So that's why I will be picking. Let's look at column charts here. This column chart here. So that one is even worse. It looks like all of them are the same height, and you can't easily tell the difference between any of them. So now let's just stick to our first one, or you can actually pick something like this funnel chart, and that one is not doing any justice. So now let's stick to the first one that we picked. That was what the clustered bar chart. Now this is the visualization. You want to do something like let's I can just click on this one. Then let's do Control X, and we all know what Control X is. That's cutting away. So now let's do page two. I can double click it just to. It's more like Excel. Power BI is more like Excel. What you do, especially if you practice your assignments, you will find it very easy. So this is my visualization, right? So let me close this pane because I have to make my work LD neat every time. So I want to paste it here. Control V. Now let's paste it. So these are our visualization. These are our first visualization. Now let's just drag it here. So now let's go. Let's move on again. So that's the first one. So another one, we want to click on our matrix, right? This is another table here. So we want to do another thing. So now let's go back to our what do you call it? Our table view. We've seen that we have the most we already know the most fraud type of we already know the most fraud and the order of fraud in this particular country. Now let's look at the states. How many states do we have? You can click on this drop down now. You can see we have three three states, right? So now I want to know, okay, this can because this is actually a fraud data source. For every data entry, that means that's a criminal case or that's a fraudulent case, right? So I want to know, is the case most present more in Abuja, in Kano, or in Lagos? So that's what I want to know. So we have our states, right? Now let's go back to our visualization, our report view. So you want to do states. So let's look at where state is here. I can see my state here. So I want to drag my state into my rows, right? So once I see it, I can see my state already here. But I want to give them number. How many Abuja do we have here? How many Kano do we have there? And also how many Lagos do we have there? So you want to drag your state into what? Into values. In this case, not column. So you want to drag them into value. And you can see it is giving you something like first state because I actually want to add number, but it is giving me something like first state Canon Lagos. You want to click on this drop down. What are you trying to do? I'm trying to count. Now that you count, you want to go to focus mode so you can see it better. You can see we have Abuja, we have 1944, we have Kano 2031, then Lagos 6075. To actually arrange this in ascending order, you can just go to somewhere around this, right? This drop down here, just click on that drop down. Can you see it is arranged descending order? If you want to arrange it in ascending order, click on that drop down again. Can you see it is arranged ascending order? So, but I actually want it in descending order, so I want to click in descending order. So that is another one. So because we've made another visualization, so now let's do Control C, Control V. You all know what that means, right? So that's just like we are doubling the what do you call it? Yeah, we are doubling the analysis that we got here there. So now we can change this one, this particular visualization, because this is actually representing a matrix now. Let's say I'm tired of using matrix. I want to change it to something. I want to use this funnel. You actually use funnel when you are ranking something. Maybe this is the highest, then followed by this, followed by this. That's when you use funnel. That's the accurate. And in this case, I'm trying to show that Lagos is the most dangerous place because that's where we have the most fraudulent case reported, then followed by what Kano, followed by what Abuja. So that's what this thing is trying to do. So the next thing is I want to do Control X. That is, I'm cutting it away from the um, analysis page. Then I'm going to my visualization page. So Control V. So now let's paste it. Now let's just drag it somewhere. Remember, we've done the wireframe the other time. So by next class, we just edit this one. We make it more professional. Then we add it into our wireframe that has been done. So let's move on. Now I want to look at, actually we cleaned this thing last time, but because we don't have it currently, so we move away from there now. So let's see if we have okay. Now let's look at this investigation outcome. So we have recovered funds, then we have recovered funds, then we have recovered funds. Now this is example why we need data cleaning. Assuming we clean this data, that means the entry inside this column should be only two value. It is either the morning, the fraudulent case that has been reported is either the morning or the transaction, whatever has been reversed, has been solved, that is the money has been recovered, or it is yet to be recovered, that is not recovered or recover funds. So we should not have three entry here. So when you are doing as a data analyst, you want to replace this recovered funds, you want to replace it. We actually did this in the last class, but we did not save it, which is why we are facing this current thing. Now let's click on OK. Let's go to our report view. Sorry, page one, that's our analysis view. So now I want my matrix again. So what are we trying to look at here? We are trying to look at let me look at the investigation outcome. Now let's look at the investigation outcome. Okay, is here. So let's drag it to column. Okay, let's drag it to okay, great. Investigation column, drag it to value. Click on the drop down, click on counts. Let's enlarge it. Let's focus it. So let's click on this drop down here. Let's click on this drop down here. So we can actually see that out of 10,000 file, almost, this is recover funds. This is 5,097. We have 2,523 also recovered funds. That's like almost 7,600 recovered funds. Then not recovered should be 2,430. So the actual value for recovered funds should be around 7,500 plus. So this is why you need to clean the data. Just imagine I'm returning this, even though this recovered funds here mean the same thing as the second one. So how do we correct this type of mistake now? So you want to click on transform data. Transform data is just like, okay, I've done some editing before. Now I want you to, maybe I forgot to clean a step or yeah. So that's when you clean what you click on transform data. Now let's click on transform data and it will lead us to what Power Query editor, which we were the other time. So what are we trying to do here? Um, let's go to investigation outcome. Right, we are trying to replace the values there. So we have recover funds. So let's go to replace value. So we have it here. So what are we finding? We are finding recovered.
Sorry, I'm muted.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. So we are done with that one now. So now let's do something here. So I just want to split this one. I did it last time. So it's loading. Let's give it some minutes. It's loading. So we can see it has changed now. Recovered funds is now 7,620, while not recovered fund is now 2,413. So we can see we have this one now. So now because this is just two stuff, two values, so you can represent them with what donut chart. Now let's try to represent them with donut chart. Well, let me do Control Z. I'm actually supposed to double it. So I will keep one for analysis, one for visualization. So let's do Control X for this one. So let's go back to our visualization tab. Control V, right? So that's three charts already. Now let's go back to here, right? So we've done three. So another thing is you want to click on your matrix again, right? Let's click on that again. So what are we trying to do? Let's look at our table again. So we have legal action. It is either it is no or yes. So we want to know how many legal action has been taken, right? So now let's do that one. So let's do something like that. So that one will be easy. Legal action, right? Legal action taken. Now let's just put this one into rows, drag this one into values, right? So we don't want the first letter or the first word. We are trying to count. So we can see a lot of them, let's just say almost like 50%, right? Almost like 50% are, legal action has been taken on 15%. Legal action has not been taken on 50%. Even though legal action has not been taken, like we can say a lot of people actually 50% of the population take legal action against a fraudulent case. Even without that, we can see the money we've recovered here, we've recovered above, this is like 76 percentage of the fee, of the total fee that has been fraudulently acquired, right? So we and only 50 people took legal step. That means we actually have a good security system to actually take back, to collect our money, um to 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 um to solve fraudulent case. We have a strong security issue. So that's what we call analysis. It's not like I'm just drawing table. I'm trying to find the relation there. So I can see we have this one now. So let me just do Control C, Control V. So let's change this one to do not chart as usual because it's just two. Let me drag this one away. So Control X. So now let's move on. So now, what's the next thing? Let's go back to our table view. So I want to know the detection method. What detection method have they been using the most, that's making over 76% to return the fraudulently acquired funds? So let's go to report view. Let's click on another matrix, right? So what are we trying to do? We are trying to look at sorry, let me check the topic again. We are trying to look at the detection method, right? Now let's look at the detection method. Where is it? The detection method. So we have it here. So I can just click on this one, then you can actually see it on my row already. So now let's drag it to value. next one to again. Okay, we now want first. We want counts. So we can see to actually sort this in ascending or descending order, you can just click on the drop down here, right? So we have the cyber flag. We have the cyber flag. We have followed by police tip off, followed by customer reports. That means customer reports has not been the most effective effective measure to take against fraudulent activity in this country. So it's the first one will be what cyber flag. That is, you flag that particular account that fraudulent action or activity just happened to. So we have police tip off. So police has been strong in this country also, followed by what customer report. Then when you are doing your auditing also, you find out some fraudulent case. So these are the detection method. So now let's just represent this one with a visual or with a chart. So let's do Control C, Control V. So I've doubled it. So the topmost layer, I'm trying to change it to a clustered column chart. So I can see it here. So I want to do Control X. Right, Control V. Okay. Okay, we are getting there. Can you see we've already gotten five data set already, even though we've not make them better, right? But you can actually see where we are going. Now let's go again. Let's look at it. So as I said earlier, you can actually group this one into group age. You want to know which are the people that are liable to being defrauded. Is it the Gen Z? Is it the millennia? Is it the elders? Right? You can actually do something like that also. So we can actually do victim states. A lot of victim came from. You want to know if it is the civilized place or the I ELDS, that it is educationally less developed state. You can actually do something like that. So we have a lot of exploration that can be done here. Now let's just do the victim states. Let's click on page one. So how are we trying to do? Hmm. Victim state. So let's click on this. Can we see? Most of our victims are coming from Abuja, right? Then followed by Rivers, then followed by Anambra. So then followed by even Lagos is not even among the did not defraud the law of Lagos residents. Now, this report is actually very funny because you remember where they carried out the fraudulent case the most is Lagos, right? So followed by Kano, followed by Abuja. But am I not getting it? Let me look at the data again. Yeah, the state of the fraudulent activity. So now this is the state. Let's say the Yahoo boy now in quotation mark. Most of them are present in Lagos, right? But the people they are targeting is the Abuja people. Abuja Rivers, these are their prey in this order. After Abuja, then Rivers, then Anambra. So now, as a data analyst working with this thing, I can already say that okay, if you are a copper, sorry, if you are in Abuja, Rivers, Anambra, whenever you are trying to do anything that require your finance attention, you want to be extra careful because you can fall into scam, right? So I already know that these are their target audience, right? So I want to do maybe like advertisement that will be shared across the or put up a banner in central on in WTO in Abuja. All those stuff. Those are the measure against the fraudulent activity, or maybe just pay for an advertisement on the radio, on the television that serves Abuja. You understand? These are the things you are trying to solve a problem. You're not just trying to do there to do charts and stuff. You are trying to solve, explore them, then try to propose a solution to the current problem they are facing. Right? So now let's try to double this one and represent it with a chart. Also, so are you with me? So now let's change this one to also column charts. Right. So now let's do Control X. So let's go back to our visualization tab. So let's do Control V. So I can just enlarge this one. So we can for a fact say how this thing will be arranged because we already have we have six visuals here, which is more than enough, right? We can do more than we can have more than this information there. There is still a lot of information. Like I said, we want to know which age group is up, or which age group is prone to um fraudulent activity or being scammed by these people. So you also want to know a couple of things there. What is the total loss amount? In which currency did they defraud the most? Is it in naira? Is it in cedis? You want to know all of these things are what you want to know. Also, you want to know the victim occupation. These are the things you can do. But basically, I've shown you how to go about this. So my visualization correct spelling is not correct. So let me just rename. So let me just so these are our analysis page. Okay. So do we have any question? Maybe we not understand the analysis part before we end the class for today. So in the next class, we try to what we're trying to do is in the next class we try to format this one. That is, we put this one at the background. We had a wireframe there. We already did the wireframe the last class. We had the wireframe that we did the last class. Then we put all these bar charts there, right? So after we are done putting the bar chart there, then we do some advanced thing, right? We do KPI, we do our KPI, we do our filter, then we do some advanced button, then we end the class next time also. So after the next class, we will be done with Excel. Sorry, Power BI. So you have a question, please can you unmute your mic, sir?
All right, thank you very much for the class. So I want to ask us, I'm using another version of Excel. So like I'm asking if I can get a crack, like is it possible to get a newer version? And how do I go about getting a newer version? And also for Power BI, what am I even asking? Like downloading it should be on Microsoft Store, right? You have not checked.
Yeah, yeah. It is very easy, and to go about it, it is actually better if you watch a YouTube along with it. How to download Power BI software. So it is actually on Microsoft Store, but to be on safe side, just follow the any YouTube download instruction. So you see how they download it, how they install it. It is basically easy. When you install it, you just keep on clicking yes, 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 accept, yes, 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 accept. But still, to be on safe side, you just want to be ready for it. You understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah, and you said something about the cracked version of Excel. Actually, I don't have it currently. I don't know about it, but we asked my colleague, my team member tomorrow, today/tomorrow. Then I'll get back to you how to get the cracked version.
Thank you very much. Thank
You're welcome. So yeah, thank you everyone. This is where we draw the curtain for tonight. Yeah. So I really appreciate you guys for joining. Have a great day. Bye.